I'm on the Horizon yachting stand. Now Horizon are a boat builder that builds very, very large, which I'll show you in a minute, what you consider super yachts, but they also build a fantastic range of powercats. Behind me is the PC60, PC powercat, powered by two 705 Cummins diesels. She has an effective range of 400 miles at 18 knots, and she costs $3.5 million as we see the boat. So starting at the stern, obviously very beamy. I'm going to put all the specs on this boat at the end of the video, so if you want to know beam, length overall, I'm just going to put everything down there, so that'll give you all your data. Now this boat is not set up with a tender recovery system, but I can show you on the 65 how that works. It's hydraulic, the tender sits up high, simply drops down between the two holes into the water, and there's your tender recovery. But we'll step on board. Obviously port and starboard, this mimics this wide access. Now these the engines I spoke of are housed between each hull. You've got generator, obviously, fuel system, and as you can see from these Cummins, there's plenty of room around each engine to work, and because it's a long distance cruiser, you have dual fuel filters on each engine. Now let's take a look at around the boat. The beauty of a powercat is you end up with a similar space as a monohull, probably 15 foot longer. They're also very efficient through the water, and they're very stable at anchor, and you just end up with acres of space. So this boat, for me, these powercats are ideally suited for island hopping, perhaps the Bahamas, perhaps the Caribbean, mainly because you've also got a shallower draft as well than a motor yacht of this size, but you've got all this space up front. You can certainly imagine a couple of sun lounges up here at anchor, looking out, in this case, at some fabulous yachts here at Palm Beach. But you know, perhaps bow to an island, tied off with a long line to a palm tree, anchored out the stern for a couple of days, just enjoying peace and privacy. So nice wide side decks. You've got these 1.25" stainless steel rails, really solid all the way down the boat and all the way around the boat. She really is fabulously built. And of course, you have epic outdoor spaces on a powercat of this size. A lot of built-in stuff. You can see there's hatches here. You've got big lockers underneath here. Got lots of little points to stow knickknacks. And of course, we have this outdoor area where we've got refrigeration. That's an ice maker. There's your refrigeration. And of course your sink. You've got a TV with surround out here as well. And you've got a very large storage locker here, which also contains battery switches and fuses, so you're not digging around in a bilge to deal with electrical issues. Now we'll head up onto the Flybridge. Now this it's built to be in, you know, tropical climates, in warm climates, so you have this isinglass enclosed bridge. You have this bar, the lovely Corian worktop, plenty of storage, more storage, and of course refrigeration. So this area is enclosed, and with this isinglass it can be air conditioned and just be the perfect environment to hang out. And of course, as you can see with these 4 lounges, and there's also, you have a crane, so a tender on this boat can be mounted on the aft deck here instead of that drop down arrangement, so a larger tender can be accommodated. But you know, moving forward, we've got an area here for a barbecue, deep storage, and just as we had down below, that's a serious ice chest. So all this space, you've got a bar area, you've got seating here for 10 people easily, got a lovely lounging space. Look at this with an infill cushion. So when the boat's underway, you can sit here in the aircon and enjoy the view. And then of course we have this fabulous commanding helm. And being a cat, we're quite far forward, so your views are excellent. Fore and aft. So back to this helm. We've got triple 22-inch Garmins here. What we're seeing here, you've got your sonar, navigation, and this is more autopilot controls, but nevertheless also navigation equipment. But all of these can be configured exactly as you want. We've got a bilge system. That's basically your monitoring panel. If anything is awry, then a red light will flash up in if any of the bilge pumps come alive. And then of course you've got tri-data and autopilot. There's your Cummins engine maintenance. And being a cat, so this is a twin engine boat, because the engines are so far apart, this is a really easy boat to maneuver in very tight spaces, to spin it around its own length. But you've also got the option or the addition of bow thruster and stern thruster right here. And there's a yacht controller. I'm not sure if you haven't seen one of these things, this will control the thrusters and the engines by remote control. So you can stand on the bow, you can stand on the stern, and you can operate the boat at close quarters from this yacht control system. So of course there's more storage, but I think now we're done up here, it's time to look at the interior of this boat. And I think you'll be very surprised at what you get on board a powercat of this size. So when I mentioned extended cruising, so think of this as your luxury apartment as home from home. It's this very cool, loungy space, and it's flooded with light with these big windows all the way around. And we've got this big 60-inch TV that drops down, it's on a hydraulic lift, drops down into the bulkhead. And you have the kind of galley you would never find on a 60-foot monohull. And of course, being a catamaran, this boat at anchor will not roll around in the same way that a monohull would, where you'd need a seakeeper stabilizer to keep it from rocking and rolling. So this would be very, very stable at anchor. So moving around this galley, we've got a proper full-size American refrigerator built in. Oh, excuse me. They put the sea ties in, but huge refrigeration. And then you've got freezer compartments, top and bottom, all secured. Same with the positive latches, but beautifully fitted furniture. It's got a Mealy induction hob. There's a combi microwave oven as well, and you have a full Mealy oven. So essentially, you do have, with all this space, home from home. So as we head across to port, we've got like a cocktail area. Now this of course is your ship's panel. Air conditioning controls, plenty of storage below, and this lovely cocktail cabinet arrangement. And then moving further across, we've got a dedicated wine fridge, and of course your raised saloon area, which sits commandingly, as I showed before, over the entire boat. Now let's take a look at the accommodation. So a little bit unusual comparative to say an equivalent monohull, but there's a lot of room in these twin hulls. So this is a VIP forward. Now again, you know, you've got so much space on board this boat. Hanging lockers over here. There's storage built in all down the sides. This lovely American walnut and the fabrics and finishes in this boat really give it that sort of beach club feel, which I love. But this is a VIP, and with its king size bed, I don't think anybody would complain about this accommodation. So we've got more storage above and below. Just mimicked all the way down here. And this, to save space, we have a pocket door arrangement. Your head, sink, vanity, and of course a decent walk-in shower. So let's continue aft. Now I would suggest that this aft cabin, which is a twin arrangement, this would probably be most suited to be the day heads. Once again, there's a pocket door, but a very nice roomy head with a shower. And then further aft we have a twin cabin with hanging storage, has its own separate air conditioning controls, and of course we've got storage under the floor all the way through the side of the hull. So bear in mind that stateroom was not the master stateroom. It's a 3 cabin boat. So as we head down to starboard, the owner's cabin, so we've got laundry facilities. There's more storage built in to these bulkheads. And full king size bed looking aft. And decent hanging space. But this boat just feels so solid and stable. This really would be a nice place to be. So panning round and walking into the master heads, this has a roomier shower, double vanities, plenty of storage. Specs on this boat: she's 60'9" length overall with a waterline length of just under 54 feet. Beam is a huge 24'6" and her draft is 4'9". If you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe.